Hello, today we are going to create an internal switch in Hyper-V. The reason is Hyper-V provides a default switch which comes with a built-in DHCP mechanism and you cannot really override it, and to make it worse, every time you reboot host, you will have an absolutely new set of IP from 172.x.x.x, meaning you cannot easily and consistently access the VM from the host using anything other than built-in connect mechanism of Hyper-V. The obvious solution to this is get another NIC and use it as an external switch to allocate the static IP to VM. However, most of us do not have a spare NIC. How do you assign a static IP to VM in this case? The answer is an internal switch with netting, which does not have a DHCP, so you need to manually allocate the IP address to VM and netting to enable internet access. What you need in order to achieve this is PowerShell terminal running as an administrator, the one that I have on my screen right now, a VM using a default switch, a script to create internal switch, for which link is provided below, and the advantage is you can use same script to delete all netting and switch configuration later on if you wish to do so. What this script does essentially is 1. Create internal switch, 2. Assign a gateway IP, 3. Create a netting gateway. Before we proceed any further, let's go ahead and have a look at our VM. I'm going to use ubuntu switch test. It's running, that's not a problem. It is currently having a default switch, that's fine. Let's go to the VM, and that's my password. Network is connected. Let's look at the network, and it is from the range 172.x.x.x as expected. Okay, let's go back to the PowerShell. I've already downloaded my script. I'm going to call switch test. I'm going to have my network as 9.9.9.0 and network mask bits are 24. Oops. And finally the gateway IP, I want it to be 9.9.9.1, and there we go. It has created switch for us already. At this point, I would like to let you know that you can choose any network mask, and the gateway, as long as you know how to calculate network range from the net mask and the network. Now let's go back to the VM. I'm going to turn off my connection. I'll come back to it later. Let's go back to Hyper-V settings, network adapter. We'll change it to test, apply, okay. Now before I turn it back on, I'm going to allocate it static IP of 9.9.9.10, network mask of 255.255.255.0, which is 24 bits, and the gateway is set to 9.9.9.1. I am also going to allocate DNS and switch off automatic DNS because this switch doesn't provide any. I'm going to use 8.8.8.8 Google DNS, apply. Of course, it needs my password. Turn it back on again. Password. Let's look at the IP. Yeah, I have got my IP address. Now the real test, let's see if we can actually access. I'm going to go on duckduckgo.com Bravo! We have an internal switch for VM configured and IP is not going to change. You can use this IP every time to SSH or RDP as you like. Though this connectivity is limited to Hyper-V host. If you want to connect from another machine on the same lane, you need to do port forwarding magic. And I have linked another video showing you just that. That's all. This brings us to the end of this short tutorial. Keep coding.